Hey guys, welcome back to the garage. Today we are going to service a Scott steering damper. But now for the chit chat, let's get on it. First of all, what do you need to service your steering damper? Well, you need fresh fluid. This one happens to be from Scott themselves. The advantage of this is that it's on a squeeze bottle and will make the process easy. Otherwise, this is a compression fluid, stabilization fluid, something like that. It's a 3-weight, either way. You can use whatever you want, but this is so convenient. I don't know why you would use anything else. Link in the description. Other than that, depends on the depth of the service you want to do to it. You might need one of those brackets to remove this. And then you need a whole bunch of O-rings. Because if you're taking it apart and you're taking a look inside, you might as well check if the O-rings inside are still good or not. Let's say this is fairly new, you had it for a season, and now you want to just change the fluid inside. You can do that by just removing those 2 screws, draining the oil, and fill it back up. So in my case, I'm going to remove the top plate and take a look inside, because this one came with the bike, so I have no idea how long it's been there. I know that there is fluid in it because I can feel it, but it also feels like there are some air bubbles in it. If you would, use a clear cup to see the condition of the fluid inside. I found out that one of those painter trays actually does the job, because when all sorts of dirty stuff is in there, I can put the steering damper up there and it's gonna stay clean. First step, I'm gonna remove those 2 in the back, which actually they're not really that tight at all. And because it's been a while, I'm actually going to replace the O-rings in there as well. I can already tell there is way too much air in there. And now, by moving the arm back and forth, I'm gonna get all the fluid out of it. So if you're just changing the fluid inside, this would be enough. You just empty it and fill it up with fresh fluid. In my case, the fluid is horrible looking. This is pretty dark. At this point, I'm gonna grab my Torx screw. By the way, they are all T20s, so with one you should be able to do the whole thing. I'm gonna take it and start taking them apart. Here we go. Once you have all the screws out, you just twist, and this is the axis you twist around. So you just twist it, very easy, and pull out. And this is what this thing looks like on the inside. Actually, it's pretty clean, if I might say so. The O-ring seems to be in good shape, but I can see it's kind of flattened a little bit, so I'm going to replace that, and at the same time I'm going to replace this O-ring up here, the blue one. That's it. There is really nothing in here that is so difficult and complicated. It's just this arm that goes back and forth, and through a series of holes on the top over here, the oil or the fluid goes from one side to the other, and depending how you have it valved, this one is probably being valved for off-road, or at least I hope so. the oil encounters, or the fluid encounters, more or less resistance depending on where this arm is at. So once you have it apart, it's time to grab your contact cleaner and give it a good clean, and at the same time get your air compressor, if you have one, hopefully you have one, and just blow air through the holes and through all those other little spaces in here to make sure that all the oil and fluid comes out. Once you have sprayed the stabilizer and then blown it with some compressed air, this thing is ready to go. So as always, before you put O-rings in, you gotta lubricate them. And we're gonna use this fluid over here. And another thing, use clean gloves. This is glove set number 2. Get the body, get the new O-ring, and let's work it in there. Like this. All right, that is one. We're gonna put the new O-ring in it. If you have a bullet tool, this little thing that they sell you, you can use that by putting it on top and using it to let the O-ring set. There we go. Bullet thing comes out, flies out, and now the O-ring is perfectly set where it belongs. Screws are gonna go back in. Remember, those with a puffed up head go on the top 6 over here. So I'm just gonna put them in. And those with the V-shaped head are going on the bottom 4. Now there is no need to put any silicone, RTV or liquid gasket in there because all the screws are on the outside of the O-ring. So just put it in there, don't worry about it, and start tying them up, obviously. And at the very end, you're gonna be tying them on a star pattern because you don't wanna squish the O-ring on one side and not enough on the other. So I wasn't able to find the torque setting for those screws, so if you do know the torque setting, please write it in the comment down below. I'll pin the comment up top. Right now I'm just gonna tie it with about the same strength it took to remove them. And now it's time to fill it up. Now the Scott's bottle kind of make it convenient because they're pointy that way. And what you need to do is put this thing all the way to one side. Put this in there like this, and then squeeze until you're gonna see a drop coming out of the top hole. And at that point, turn it flat, and it's time to reinstall the bottom screws. At this point, when you have both screws in, you just start working it. I haven't even bled it yet, and it already feels better than it did before. Before, at the very end, it would just give. Instead, this time around, it feels solid all the way through. After you work it for a while, keep it up at an angle so that the air will rise. And at this point, take off again the top screw. Very slowly move the arm. You're gonna see little bubbles starting to come up. There it is. Big bubble just came up. Oh, pretty big bubble. I don't know if the camera captured it, but pretty big bubble just burst it. And at this point, add some more fluid in there. Wiggling it seems to work best. Like almost at top, you just wiggle it.
One eternity later.
When there are no more bubbles, remember, one little bubble is okay because they will act as an expansion chamber. At that point, put the bleeding screw back in and tie it up. At this point, when you're all done, this thing is ready to go, ready for another season of riding, and that's about it. Now, for everything I used in this video, check the description down below. I'll put links for the Scott's website where you can actually buy the proper bottle, the proper seals. I'll see if I can find links where they're a little cheaper, but that's about it. One more thing before we close up. Thank you very much to my patrons, because this is made possible very much by them. If you like what I'm doing, go join the Patreon. You get a direct line to talk to me and plenty of other perks. Meanwhile, I'm not done yet, because this is from the dirt bike. I'm gonna have to take the F800 GS steering damper off and service that as well. So if you like the video, like. If you love the video, subscribe. Right on, and I'll see you next time. On an after note, I just took off the steering damper from the F800 GS, and it turns out the screws on top, they're not Torx, but just regular Allen keys. So depending on what you got, you might get either the regular Allen keys or the Torx.